So the goal is to globe shape this burning bush. And you'll notice that there are weird high spots and it's not very symmetrical. So the goal is to take it in where it's high and leave it where it's low or trim it less. Like notice how that all that's got to come off, or all of that's got to come down to make it symmetrical in a globe. All the bottom's got to get trimmed up so that when you're blowing in the fall, you can clean out the weeds, so that also when our lawn crew comes, they can get their whippersnipper mower around it and underneath it. So that's a weird high spot. That's all got to come down. That's also a weird high spot. That's got to come in way much, sort of a solid 6 to 8 inches to make it nice and globe. And if there's a tiny bit of browning or lots of sticks showing in a weird obscure spot like the very top, it's not the big deal, but do your best to trim it in such a way that it's not very bare. Going to look for a ladder, but I couldn't find one. So that's got to come in. As you can see, there's a low spot here. Probably partly my mistake, but also partly the shape of the bush. So this looks okay. So got to take that spot in. The top's a little wonky, but not too bad. Yeah, same. There's a little bit of a high spot here. Try not to get hit by a car, that's always bad. Arguably there's a small tiny bit of a high spot right there. And then the top got some weird stuff going on right there. The bottom's been trimmed up nicely. Tiny bit of a high spot right there. And yeah, still. So we got to do some more work here, even if it gets a little bit sticky, just because it looks terrible. Or not terrible, but not excellent. And we don't have a ladder, and I'm not running home to get it, so make do with what we've got. just raked it and blew it off to get all the debris out so it doesn't, the bush doesn't have dead brown stuff in it. As you can see, there might be like the odd branch that sticks out, but unless it's really major, we leave it. And it's not major, so we're gonna rake it up, put it in a bag, and then move on to that one over yonder. A good upselling technique is when you see the client, or you're giving a description of what you did, or when you do a walk around with the client afterward, and you say, oh well, we trimmed up the bottom of this burning bush so that if and when my colleagues on the lawn crew, and then you name them, if and when they take care of your lawn and do whippersnipping, it's a little easier for them to get all the weeds and stuff underneath that. Or if you have their lawn contract, you could say, oh well, we trimmed this burning bush up just so that in the fall, when our fall cleanup crew comes in, and then name the guys on the crew, when they're coming through, they can just quickly blow the leaves out from underneath, and it's no big deal. It's really easy to get everything out from underneath. So a little fun tip there to either get, hopefully get an upsell for lawn cutting, which I'm going to try. And then while you're at it, pick up trash, because there's a bunch of garbage underneath here.